What's up, everybody? It's Jay Brown. I'll give you a little update on the 2022 Cummins Ram 2500. I've got just a little over 25,600 miles on it, and so far hardly any what I would consider problems with the truck. It's been very dependable thus far. I've got the Bighorn black night edition, whatever they call it. It's got the 12-inch screen, and I would say the biggest issue that I've had with the truck is just the infotainment system. Like most people, they push updates, the system freezes once every 2 or 3 weeks. In the beginning it was about every week. Now it seems like it's probably once a month, maybe. Haven't really had too many issues here of late. So, riding down the road right now, 78 mile an hour. You can see the temperatures on the truck, pretty consistent. We'll put it over here to the fuel mileage, because these trucks do really well driving down the road at speed. You can see the RPMs. This has got a 373 rear axle. This is a 2500 standard output, so it's not the high output. There's the trip information since I filled up. Take you a spin around the cabin. Full of crap. You see right now we're not towing anything. I do have a rolling lock tonneau cover on the back of this. It is very nice. I had one on my Ram 1500 Rebel, and I just like that it's truly a secured tonneau cover. Takes up a little bit of space at the back of the cab, but I'm actually going to pick up fifth wheel down at the coast right now. I do have the load right 100-pound airbags on the truck. Keep them at 5 pounds just riding down the road, but it helps significantly with the squat. I mean, you basically take out all the squat that the truck has. The camper, I'll make a video of that here next on the way back and show the fuel mileage, but it is a 2018 Bighorn. It's 39 foot, actually 42 feet overall total length. The dry weight on it is 13,000 pounds. The gross vehicle weight rating of the trailer is 16,000 pounds. I do not condone doing that with a 2500, but the reality is I didn't buy my truck to tow this camper. My mother purchased this camper, and I don't plan on upgrading my truck to tow it, move her around twice a year. So I did add the airbags specifically for it. But outside of that, the truck does really good, gets really good fuel mileage. I haven't had any issues with the DEF system, but I do run premium DEF. I do not run truck stop DEF. I don't run the regular stuff. I did a little experiment a while back. You can see the video on YouTube channel, but I pulled the DEF injector and it was basically spotless. A friend of mine's got an identical truck, and he runs the cheap crap all the time. He had some DEF issues, and sure enough, we pulled his injector, and which takes 10 minutes, people, so check it out. It's pretty easy to do. But anyway, so we pulled his, and it was crystallized up pretty good. I would say the only difference between he and I in driving habits is I do tow. I've got a 28-foot catamaran, and I do run the highway a little bit more than he does. So obviously His filter is going to get clogged a little bit quicker. But driving the truck on the back roads, like most people, I noticed that I go through regeneration a little bit more out here on the highway and towing the camper and towing my boat every other weekend. The DEF system is hardly ever full. It goes to its certain 25-hour, whatever that is, a mandatory regeneration to just kind of clean itself out, but it hardly ever shows that it is that it's clogged. I'll pull it up here. See if I can do this while I'm driving down the road. While I'm pulling that up, fuel filters, primary and secondary. I'm pretty religious about 10,000 mile oil changes and primary secondary fuel filters. You can just feel the truck get a little sluggish. All of the Cummins diesels that I've had in the past, same thing. Get about 10,000 miles on the filter and you start to feel it just get a little sluggish. Fuel mileage goes down a little bit, and it's time to change your filters. Filters are cheap, easy to change. There's no sense in don't buy the cheap Dox diesel filters either. Buy the right ones, especially if you got a warranty. I promise you, they're going to give you a bunch of crap for not running premium filters. Like I said, they're cheap. There's a DPF. You can see the DEF gauge. When it gets to a half a tank of DEF, put some DEF in it. Don't run it down. Don't run it low. A lot of the pictures that I see on these forums is where people's having DEF issues, and then they don't ever really take that picture so you can see the DEF gauge, but some of them do, and when they do, there's freaking no DEF in the tank. And I've never run mine down, so I'm not sure how accurate it is once it gets to a quarter of a tank, but if it's like everything else, it's probably not that accurate, and you're out of DEF. So yeah, it's going to show a idiot light and light you up. So don't do it. But anyway, 2022 Ram 2500 Bighorn. Like I say, it's got 12-inch. It's got the full console. Just pretty standard. I do like the cloth seats over the leather seats, just simply because I'm in and out of this truck, all the time. My Ram Rebel had 36,000 miles on it when I bought this truck, traded it in, and the driver's seat looked terrible. The leather, pleather, whatever it is, it was already doing its thing, wrinkled up. These seats, same amount of wear and tear, 25,600-ish something miles on the truck, and they look great. I do miss the cooled seats, but outside of that. So as far as towing goes, real quick, 28-foot catamaran. It has it's huge on the trailer. It's a big billboard, big center console. I weighed it, and I think I'm around like 8,500 pounds with minimal fuel, no ice, no gear, no nothing in the boat. I typically get 10.5 hand calculated. I don't tow over 62 mile an hour with it just because of the wind resistance on the center console. Don't want to mess up, the boat. There's no sense. And 60, 62, lock fifth gear out typically. And then with the big camper, I've towed it quite a few times now, moving it back and forth to the dealer for warranty stuff. Up and down the highway, going down here to Rodanthe, North Carolina. It's pretty flat, but, and I'm gonna show you on the next video. But this daggone thing gets 12 and a half, 13 and a half miles per gallon, and it's a monster of a trailer. But the key is slow down. The key is wind resistance, slow down, keep your truck with its best mechanical advantage, which is in this with a 373, is fifth gear and just under 2,000 RPM. So I get excellent fuel mileage doing it. Transmission temperature stays at the 168-ish degrees. If I go to sixth gear, it'll get up in the 170s. So there's obvious slight amount of slip. I don't beat this truck up, never spun a tire in it. I baby it pretty much outside of just accelerating onto the interstate. I have never been full throttle with the truck, so the transmission ought to last. But I can promise you that just by looking at the temperatures on flat ground and setting the cruise, nothing changes besides putting it in 6th gear, allowing it to get up into 6th gear. I can see a couple degrees of temperature rise within 10 miles. That's telling you something. It's pretty flat here on the east coast of North Carolina. I mean, you make the call yourself. I've towed 300,000-400,000 miles with a diesel truck over the last 5 years. I've had 7 different. This is my 7th Cummins. I've had quite a few Hemi trucks, and it tows great. It's not going to get out and spank any of the V8s, but extremely durable. Treat them right. You know, keep the DEF system clean with, in my opinion, premium diesel exhaust fluid. Don't run it dry, and every 10,000 miles, new filters, oil change, you'll be fine. All right, if you got any questions or comments, you know where to put them, and I will make a video on the ride home with the Bighorn camper while I'm driving my Bighorn truck. All right, peace out. Take care.